Night Anime Recap. Today, I'm going to explain a romantic comedy supernatural anime called Witchcraft Works. Onoka Takamiya contentedly lives a completely ordinary life as an average high school junior. The only disruption to his days comes in the form of an interaction with Ayaka Kaguri, the smartest, prettiest, and most popular girl in his school. The two of them have never interacted despite riding the same bus every morning and sitting next to each other in class. But one day, all of this changes. As soon as someone in the bus calls out Princess, Onoka already knows what's coming next: chaos. The gorgeous yet phlegmatic Ayaka is the daughter of the school's chairwoman. Knowing that the girl is rich, he wonders why she even rides the bus when she can get her own ride. Though his quiet morning has already been spoiled, it doesn't stop there. In class, he accidentally drops his eraser, and since Ayaka sat next to him, she picks it up and hands it over to Onoka. This results in the poor boy getting bullied and beaten up by the girl's jealous fans. After class, Onoka is taking out the trash when he sees a weird-looking stuffed rabbit with a note that says, "Today's weather, sunny with occasional falling school buildings." Before he could even absorb what he just read, he looks up and realizes the school building is falling from the sky. In his panic, he can only scream out, "I don't want to die," as the huge structure drops directly on him. When Onoka opens his eyes, he finds himself in Ayaka's arms. He starts flailing, embarrassed by the situation, but the girl just tells him not to move. He realizes that they are up in the air, with Ayaka standing on a broomstick as they look down at the mess in the school's courtyard. A mysterious girl with cat ears commands two big armored rabbits to attack them. Ayaka is quick to counterattack, tossing Onoka in the air before setting the rabbits on fire. With Ayaka taking their battle to the ground, she catches Onoka, then coolly instructs him to stay close to her. While her fight with the rabbits continue, Onoka hears someone calling out to him from behind the building. Thinking that it's one of Ayaka's friends calling him to safety, he immediately follows her. To his dismay, he comes face to face with an army of the same armored rabbits. As one of them prepares to behead him with an axe, the boy feebly thinks that he might just be dreaming since everything happening around him seems surreal. "We could hope the same for you, bud." Luckily for him, Ayaka sets the rabbits on fire before Onoka got onioned by the menace hares. At this point, he still thinks that he's dreaming, so Ayaka explains that it was no dream, she's on a mission to protect him. Onoka's equal parts amazed and confused to hear this, but he suddenly does a double take when Ayaka calls him her princess. Princess. Did he hear her right? Princess? His thoughts are cut off when he notices that a part of her hair is burning. He asks again, why is she protecting him, but she just repeats that he is her princess. Despite the many oddities that are just vying for his attention right now, he ends up focusing on her hair. In his growing anger, he yells at Ayaka, telling her that her hair is precious and didn't deserve to burn just for him. Just then, he sees a rabbit about to attack Ayaka from behind, so he jumps right in to protect her. Alas, he's just promptly flung to the side, spurring Ayaka to run to him and hold him in her arms as she finishes off the rest of the rabbit army using her incinerating million clover power. Eventually, Onoka wakes up in an unfamiliar place, and Ayaka greets him. As much as he wants to think that everything that happened was a dream, Ayaka squashes any possibility of this. She promises to explain everything to him someday, but for now, he should get his bag and go home, leaving Onoka dumbfounded. Since there's no need to protect him in secret anymore, she'll be bringing him home. This makes him realize that all the previous times Ayaka was near him weren't just coincidences, she made them all happen. While they're walking home together, she explains that it's her mission to protect him because he is her master. As gauche as the title is, Onoka still feels a bit of relief since she isn't calling him princess anymore. But the relief is gone as quickly as it came when she tells him to walk beside her, calling him Princess Takamiya-kun. The next day, Onoka rides the bus like nothing happened. But his expectation of having a typical day is quickly wrecked when Ayaka gets in and asks if she can sit beside him. They walk together in school, with the crowd of Ayaka's fans following them while talking crap about the poor boy. To make matters worse, Ayaka declares that from now on, they'll be going to school together. Good luck with that, princess. As soon as their classroom door opens, Onoka is greeted by the angry look of his classmates that can strike the fear of God in just about anyone. He starts feeling queasy and rushes to the restroom while the girls in class question Ayaka about her life choices. But the moment Onoka comes out of the restroom, he is immediately jumped by Ayaka's fans, the same one that bullied him. But before they could hurt him any further, Ayaka comes in, fixing his uniform and telling him to let her know if anyone messes with him. Her fans are taken aback, and they can only watch the two as they walk away. During lunchtime, an angry crowd surrounds Onoka and Ayaka. Since Ayaka is Ayaka, you need to make reservations to eat with her, and her fan club keeps track of those. She doesn't care though, and she even feeds Onoka a beautifully crafted wiener. Onoka tries to excuse himself, saying that being there is against the rules. But the girl just tells him that where she eats and who she eats with is her choice, and that he is being selfish. Annoyed, Onoka retorts that if it's her choice, then he also has his choice. Without warning, he gets up and runs away, leaving Ayaka alone. The crowd murmurs about how rude he is for yelling at Ayaka. And Ayaka, well, she isn't happy either, so everyone gets burnt lunch. While Onoka's walking along the school grounds, he notices that the place where the building landed yesterday is now good as new. Suddenly, the girl with the cat ears appears, telling him that it was just illusion magic. She just wanted to find out if he was harmless or not, hence the commotion from the day before. But now that Onoka's coming to her himself, she deduces that he is, indeed, harmless. The cat girl introduces herself as Tanpopo Kuraisher, a tower witch who is on a mission to take Onoka. Revealing her wings, she grabs the boy to escape, but before she can, a burst of flames sends her flying. Tanpopo isn't surprised, in fact, she expected this of the fire witch. Ayaka stands before her, ready to fight as Tanpopo yells out that Onoka belongs to the tower. With a flick of her finger, Tanpopo summoned her army of rabbits again. She warns Ayaka that she's going full force today, and with that, she brings in her entire bunny army to battle. As the rabbits close in on the two, Ayaka holds Onoka. They fall to the ground and boom! A huge explosion erupts. Onoka finds himself underneath a dark place, with swords surrounding him. Blood drips on his face, and when he looks up, he sees Ayaka shielding him, the sharp blades piercing through her body. She's in such a perilous state, and yet the first thing she asks him if he's not hurt. Onoka is mad. He's mad and confused. He doesn't know why she keeps saving him, why she keeps putting her entire being on the line just so nothing could even graze him. As Ayaka wipes the tears off his face, she asks him why he's angry again. Finally, he realizes it's his fault, he's the reason why Ayaka keeps getting hurt. He didn't follow her when she told him to stay close to her, and he didn't follow her when she wanted to eat lunch with him. Onoka declares that he will start believing in her from now on. While he panics about her situation, Ayaka asks if he means that starting tomorrow, he won't run away from her during lunchtime anymore. Her dismissive attitude towards her situation makes Onoka freak out even more, so Ayaka assures him she's okay, she's made of fire, after all. He just needs to follow her instructions so she can put an end to this. Ayaka tells him to close his eyes, and with that, she slowly turns into flames. While her rabbit army is fighting, Tanpopo contemplates how to bring Onoka back to the tower. She was told that he can be brought dead or alive, but it wouldn't be good if she didn't bring him there in one piece. Her train of thought is interrupted by another huge explosion which sent her flying to a wall. Suddenly, Ayaka appears before her while carrying Onoka in her arms. All her rabbits are now in flames, and the biggest one explodes and falls back. Terror strikes Tanpopo as she can do nothing but watch everything around her burn. Unmoved, Ayaka tells her, "Burn into nothingness." But before our cat girl here gets chicken boned, she screams Plan B, as the place blasts in flames. She is carried by one of her army rabbits and they execute their flawless Plan B, Nijirandeo. At Ayaka's signal, Onoka finally opens his eyes. For the first time, he actually followed her instructions to the very end. Onoka is astounded to see that everything is normal again, making him ponder the mystery behind these girls, who have been duking it out in the middle of the clear and very normal school grounds. While walking home that day, Onoka apologizes to Ayaka for what he did during lunch and thanks her for the wiener. Ayaka doesn't respond, and they walk together in silence. The very next day, their teacher introduces new transfer students to their class. 5 girls enter the room and Onoka immediately recognizes the one in the middle. They introduce themselves one by one, starting with, you guessed it, Tanpopo Kureishi. As for the other girls, they're Rin Kazari, Kotetsu Katsura, Mei Manawa, and Kanna Atsuji. Ayaka confirms the sweating Onoka's suspicions. They are indeed all tower witches too. Well, this is going to be interesting. and scary for Anoka. One day, Anoka rides the bus alone to school. He thinks about all the weird incidents that have been happening to him lately and how he's the only one who knows jack about why the witches keep attacking him. He plans to get Ayaka to tell him all about it today since she just keeps on saying that she will, someday. But before he can do that, he needs to find her first because oddly enough, she didn't ride the bus with him. When Anoka opens the door to their classroom, he is welcomed by 4 of the tower witches who are tied to poles while burning in flames. Nothing unusual here, folks. With a rifle in hand, Ayaka greets him good morning, making Anoka back up and look at the sign outside the room. Torture seminar. Ayaka nonchalantly explains that she cast a spell on him to subconsciously go there. The boy asks her what she's doing, and she casually answers that she's holding a witch hunt since Anoka told her the other day that those girls seem like trouble. Careful what you wish for around Ayaka now, Anoka. Ayaka explains that she meant to join Anoka on the bus ride but thought that she should finish off the witches first. She got a hold of them but lost May, so now she's torturing the other 4, hoping that the missing one will show up to their rescue. Ayaka's definitely a cruel mistress. Tanpopo can't even speak since they're all gagged. Softly, Anoka asks Ayaka to drop the flames and let the witches speak up. And once she has the chance to, the tower witch yells at Ayaka, saying that they only wanted a peaceful commute to school, but Ayaka just had to attack them. She then turns her anger at Anoka, telling him off for not disciplining Ayaka. Discipline? Like a pet? Anoka shakes the thought off his head and Tanpopo continues to shout at him, suspecting that Ayaka is her woman. Flustered, the boy clarifies that they don't have that kind of relationship. Meanwhile, Ayaka asks if she can burn Tanpopo since she's being noisy, so a panicked Anoka answers that no, she may not. He then approaches Tanpopo, and he struggles with her name at first, not knowing if she's Crisis-san or Crazy-san, making Tanpopo yell out, "It's Kuraishi." He finally asks her what they want from him. What did he do? Did he do something to make them angry? Tanpopo realizes that Ayaka hasn't told him yet, which makes sense since she's a workshop witch, and that's the side that's been hiding Anoka all this time. Tanpopo then explains that they have no grudge against him. They're just after his body, after all. Anoka's body? She clarifies, saying that they want the white stuff inside him. Ma'am. Dumbfounded by what he heard, Anoka turns red as he thinks of what Tanpopo meant. His body? His white stuff? White stuff. Ayaka then breaks his daze, telling him not to take what the enemy's saying at face value. Just then, a black gooey liquid starts dripping from the ceiling. May appears through the puddle and drops directly on Anoka. She creates a barrier between her and Ayaka, before freeing the other 4 witches from being tied. May carries Anoka on her shoulders and escapes, leaving Tanpopo, Kanna, Rin, and Kotetsu to fight with Ayaka. She brings Anoka to the lower floor through the puddle she created. While May's prematurely celebrating her graceful exit with the boy, the ceiling cracks and goes boom. Ayaka and her flames have quickly defeated the tower witches, and now, it's May's turn to get rocked and rolled. With Ayaka walking closer, May holds Anoka hostage while warning her that her wolfish companion will bite Anoka's head off. Anoka yells at Ayaka not to worry about him, but the fire witch is unfazed, telling him to stay still while she saves him. How shall I cook this woman? Ayaka ponders, but May's confidence isn't shaken. She proudly claims that Ayaka genuinely cares about Anoka here and not just about his white stuff. May continues trying to intimidate her and to show that she isn't afraid of killing the boy if need be. Her canine companion bites Anoka's neck. This makes Ayaka stand at attention, sending his neck into flames before making a huge explosion that pries him out of May's grip. Ayaka carries Anoka, but before she could attack again, May quickly disappears into her black fluid. As for the other witches, they're carried out by the armored rabbits. Once again, they're executing their strategic retreat since it's impossible for them to beat the devil that is Ayaka. Later on, Anoka wakes up in Ayaka's private room, where he sees her wearing a scarf despite the hot weather. He also realizes that he doesn't have the wound from the bite. Ayaka had hoped that he could live a peaceful life without knowing of anything, but as the situation got worse, it became impossible to hide. Besides, he deserves to know. She tells him that in order to get his normal life back, they must defeat the mastermind, the one who stole his peace. However, she mentions that they have a problem. She doesn't know who that mastermind is. While Ayaka tells him about how her powers can defeat the mastermind once they find whoever it is, Anoka thinks about the girl's kindness. He figures that she must be hiding her injury under the scarf she's wearing. Ayaka got hurt again because of his weakness. And with that, he declares that Ayaka shouldn't fight by herself anymore. Anoka asks the Fire Witch to tell him everything about the other girls and about the two of them. Don't fight alone anymore, he pleads. I'm the one they're after. I can't keep watching you get hurt because of me. The boy asks her for a favor, to teach him magic. Or better yet, make him her apprentice. At this point, Anoka still doesn't know the full extent of the mess he was suddenly thrust into. But perhaps it's always been there in the shadows, and Ayaka was just doing all that she could to keep him in his blissful ignorance. Regardless of what it is, Anoka's set on making sure that Ayaka's not alone in this fight. And so, their real friendship and battle begins.